Hi everyone, today's video is going to be a bit different than normal. I'm going to be talking about something that, to be honest, is quite scary and hard to talk about. It's a difficult subject to talk about. You know what it's about by the title of the video, but it's taken a while to get to the point of talking about it. As you can see, this is me talking about how my depression affects me. There are some very delicate subjects mentioned in here, so you may not want to watch. I will put in during the editing something that shows you where you can skip if there's little bits you don't want to hear about. Anyway, I currently suffer with depression. I've had depression for many years. I got diagnosed, would have been getting on for 9 years ago. But I also had it before then. I just never went to see anyone because I was like, oh, I can manage it on my own. I can only talk about my experience for this. I can't say how it is for everyone because depression affects different people in different ways. This is just a general overview that may come in helpful for people. As I say, talk about it is really scary and really hard to do. Let's see, I do have a list of notes which I keep looking over here, just so I knew what to talk about and could do it without rambling too much. Anyway, my depression affects me in a number of different ways. It's my thoughts, emotions and behaviour, so I'm just going to run through what I've got there. With my thoughts, it's a multitude of things you get there. It's always like, I'm not good enough, I'm letting everyone down. Getting close to people can be difficult because when you start getting to know someone, you're thinking to yourself, they're just going to be leaving me anyway, what's the point? So that makes it really difficult to actually go and meet new people. Another thing that you sometimes think, or at least I do, is depression's different for everyone, or for a lot of people. So if I tell someone about it, will they really understand what I'm going through? It's just one of those thoughts. Another thing I got on my list, it's when people say that you can call them anytime if you need them. And quite often I'll be like, yeah, thank you for that, knowing full well that I'm basically never going to call them when I need them. That fits part in the emotions and behaviours as well, the isolating from other people. I'll touch more on that in a bit. As I say, you get the feeling of letting everyone down. Another one I have is, I'm not going to say anything, there's other people that have got it worse than me and they're carrying on, so I can carry on as well. Don't compare yourself to other people. You matter. You yourself matter. Don't compare yourself to the person next to you. They might be going through the same stuff or they might not. Just focus on you. Now this is a little bit where I'm going to put the time you can skip to avoid the bits here. Also, you do get those thoughts of, wouldn't it be better if I just ended it all? No, it wouldn't. But you do think that, or at least I do. And I do get suicidal thoughts from time to time. They appear at the worst of times. It's like I can be driving along, I think I'm absolutely fine, all of a sudden a thought will pop into my head of just going crash and finish it all. I'm not consciously thinking that, it's just my brain decides that's the time to do it. I also get a lot of those thoughts at night time. Lying in bed, especially if you've got to be up early the next morning, your brain suddenly starts at full gear and goes, oh, this is what you haven't thought of, and just bombards you with everything. One thing I do have to assist me with how I'm feeling there is my tattoo. I did join in on the semicolon movement, and as you can see it says, my story continues. I got the semicolon and I was like, I don't want it on its own, I want something to go with it that means something. And because I've always been a massive reader, I was like, I could fit in with a book, and I was like, my book continues, it's not really a book. And eventually I was like, my story continues. My story being my life. Anyway, we're getting on to the emotions. I've just got a list of some of the different emotions: sadness, tiredness, anxiety, self-loathing, guilt. It's just the whole mix of those that all bombard you. It can feel like I'm wearing a mask sometimes, hiding away from people, but also being inside a bubble so that I can see out but they can't really see in. It's, yeah, you don't really see, hear and feel properly in the bubble, but you're just there trying to break out and you can't. Or another analogy would be like being dragged underneath the water. You get up enough for some air, then just drag straight back down. So it's not easy. As I mentioned before, the brain just doesn't want to shut off on the negative thoughts. Normally it's just, I can manage going through. Most of the time I don't get majorly negative thoughts, there's just the background noise almost. But every now and then it does spike up and really bombard me. And it's like overanalyzing things as well. In my head, I know logically the reason for something, but it's like the logical reasoning part of my brain knows, but the other goes, no, what if it's this, what if it's that? Can make it difficult with like messages and stuff, reading them the wrong way, and you read a message and your brain's automatically going for the worst possible outcome there. And I have had it before. I've agonised on messages for weeks going, what if it meant this, or what if it meant that? Whereas my brain's logically going, this is the reason, but it just goes on like that. Anyway, the next bit I've got to talk about is behaviour. This is, yeah, I've got a bit of a list here. So it's like my bedroom is an absolute mess. I don't like it being a mess, I like it being tidy, but the motivation to actually get up and tidy it is so extremely difficult. I mean, sometimes it could be bad enough getting out of bed in the morning. So actually going and doing something like tidying my room, yeah, it's difficult. So that's one thing that I'm going to touch on in a bit. Another of my behaviours is that I end up in my room or in this room most of the time, generally watching YouTube videos or Netflix, or doing things like 3D printing or 3D design, that sort of stuff. I do have some evenings where I'm out of the house, like I play in a brass band on a Tuesday, so that gets me out for that, and involved with Christmas lights and other stuff like that. So I do get out, but it's not all the time, which, to be fair, is alright with me at the moment. I don't think I can manage too much socialisation. As I say, I do manage to get up and go to work. Some mornings are definitely a struggle. You wake up feeling absolutely terrible, and it's like, you need to get out of bed and get to work, but I do manage to get in. Okay, going back to the room being untidy and the motivation thing bit, it's like simple things like showering, brushing teeth, even brushing my hair. They could be a monumental task. My teeth aren't the best, mainly because from like mid-teens onwards, I've just been in this rut that it's like trying to sum up the enthusiasm to do it, or the motivation, or however you want to describe it. It's a difficult task. You say that to people that don't understand depression, they're like, oh, it's simple, just go in the bathroom and do it. But it's not that easy, at least not for me. Let's see. Next thing I've got here is that I rarely see my friends. I do see them, but not on a massively regular occasion. Luckily my best friend is always there for me, and I have picked the phone up to her a few times at like 2 a.m. and said, help me, I'm struggling, and she just provides at least someone to talk to. So yeah, I've got a good friend there that we don't have to see each other every day or every week, but she's there for me. She's looking out for me. And yeah, that's great. Another behaviour is unhealthy coping mechanisms or coping methods. I have had some unhealthy coping methods in the past. I'm not going to go into what they were, but suffice to say that now I am looking at more healthy and constructive methods. So it's like recently I started learning to play violin, which I can't do at the moment because of being in a car crash 4.5 weeks ago. My neck is still in pain. I can't hold it in the position over here to play violin without it hurting quite a lot. So that's one thing that's also adding to all the depression. Just that I can't do something that I was really enjoying. Then there's things like 3D printing, 3D modelling, but stage lighting, design, things like that. Some of those things I did have before, or not before depression, but during, and I need to focus more on those sorts of things. But it's like with doing hobbies, even ones that I like doing can be a chore sometimes, especially if it involves multiple steps to do said hobby. For example, 3D printing. The 3D printer here is not in my bedroom, so if I'm in my bedroom I need the enthusiasm and motivation to leave my bedroom, walk across the hallway into this room, sit down, turn it on, load the file, let it start printing, and all of that. That can be a chore. Again, it sounds easy, but it can really not be. So what I find best is if I get the motivation to do something like that, as soon as I get that spark of motivation, I've just got to get on with it. Otherwise it's just going to sit there not being done. Okay, I'll just have a look at the time. Yeah, doing reasonable. Now I've got a list of things that I wish people wouldn't say, because you do get people that don't understand and just think, oh, he's just sad. But as I've said up to now, it's not just sadness. So one of my annoyance things I wish people wouldn't say: have you tried smiling? I can smile, doesn't mean I'm happy. I can be happy, I don't have to smile. So it's like, it's not just sadness and not smiling. So that, it's most of the time it's not too bad, but yeah, it's just an irritating thing. Then it's people that are like, just go and do X, Y, Z. Go for a run, go for a bike ride, go and do whatever it is. And it's like, those things may help, but actually going and doing them can feel like running the London Marathon with no training and a hangover. Well, maybe not quite that extreme, but actually getting out there and doing it can be difficult. I mean, I did start running last year a little bit. I need to get back into that. I've got cycling that I enjoy. Again, need to get back into it, but it's just getting the motivation to actually get out and do it and make it easily and accessible as possible. Because as I say, the more steps in the way to do it, the less likely it is to be done. Okay, the next thing is that I wish people wouldn't say. So you just feel really sad then. And as I've explained in this video so far, no, it's not just that. That's only a small part of it. And the last thing I've got, and things I wish people wouldn't say, it's not really what they wouldn't say, but I've actually had it before when I've been talking to someone about my depression, and initially they seemed interested and were going to listen to me, but then they just started making it all about themselves. So it's like almost brushing my problems to the side for themselves. And at the time, yes, I did listen to them and try and help them, but I just felt, you just feel unimportant and worthless when that's happening. That here I am, someone that I trust, letting know everything, and yeah, they're just almost throwing it away. So yeah, that's an annoyance. So in conclusion of all of this, I am currently seeing a therapist or a counsellor. See him every week, basically. I started that in February of 2018. He is helping quite a lot. I remember the first session I went for, I thought, it's an hour long. I'm not going to be able to talk for an hour. I'm just going to sit there and not know what to say. And then sat down, and you basically couldn't shut me up for the hour. I just opened up, and there's been things I've told him that I've never told anyone else, and those things will probably stay that way. I'm just going to sort through them with him, put them to bed, and that'll be that. And I'm not on antidepressants. I personally don't like how they feel. I mean, if everything did get really bad and I was like at the point of couldn't get out of the bed in the morning, then yes, I would go back on them. But I don't like how they feel. I was on them in 2010. Yeah, 2010 sort of time. Absolutely horrible how I felt on them. And when I came off, it was just like 10 times worse. Physical sickness and just stomach cramps and brain headaches and just the thoughts, and yeah, it was not a nice experience. So that's holding me off of them, and if I can manage without them, I will. I'm not saying that's the macho I can manage. It's I prefer not to take medication if I can help it. So I'm trying other methods before I have to go down the medication route. As I say, it could get to the point where I have to, but at the moment I'm hoping it doesn't. As I've said at the start of this, talking about this all is really scary and hard. I mean, it's difficult enough saying it to a counsellor, but this is uploading it to the internet for everyone to see. So yeah, it can be difficult. Can be difficult, can be extremely hard and really scary. I did actually put a tweet on Twitter last week, I think it was, saying I was considering making this video and that I was scared, and I did get some positive responses on there encouraging me to actually go and record this video because it might be helpful for someone. So that's mainly what this is. It's not me trying to gain sympathy, it's not me trying to be in there or be cool, because I know that a lot of people consider mental illness as cool. It's like it's cool to have one. It's not cool to have one, really not. It affects everything. There's no, it's not like you don't increase your social standing or anything by having it. It's just, it's not good. I wish there was more access for help to people, but that I could go on about that for a long time, that people don't recognise it and everything. Anyway, I'm coming to an end here. So about this video, if you have depression or another form of mental illness, I hope that this has helped you in even a small way. Maybe it's just me showing you're not alone, or maybe it's made you think about things slightly differently. I don't know what it's going to do for each person, but I'm putting it out there in the hope that it might help someone. So yeah, if you've got depression or a mental illness, I hope this helps you in some way. And if you know someone with depression or another mental illness, I hope it's given you some ideas there. And also, if you do know someone with a mental illness and you don't know what to do to help them but you want to, sometimes literally being there or saying you can talk to me anytime, or even just listening, can be the biggest thing you can do for someone. Having someone there that will listen can help a lot. You don't have to say anything back. If you think, oh, I don't want to say anything, I might put my foot in it, just say that to the person, but you're willing to listen. Yeah, you don't have to go and do grand gestures, but it's things like listening, keeping in touch. If you know someone that's been a bit quiet for a while, maybe drop them a text or a message or DM or whatever. Just say, "Are you okay? I'm thinking about you." They might not reply, but it might help them that they know there's someone there that is there for them. Anyway, I'm not going to do my normal ending on here, but I hope this video has helped in some way, shape or form. And to my next one, I'll see you later. Bye.